friends, welcome back to the next session of the one and only Ivan. I'm so excited if you're still here with me. It means so much to me. Thank you very much. I absolutely love this book and I love having something for us to do together even though we are apart. It is around our 16th day in our book club and we are on page 168, so give or take we've been reading about 10 pages a day, which is pretty good and a really great pace. We just left off with Ivan telling Ruby a true story of an elephant being saved by her friend at the zoo and bringing her to a humane zoo. And when she asked how she got there, he said she had a friend who made a promise. Now, I didn't do a Google form yesterday because I felt like you had a lot going on. And so I know I had one friend, Leah, I'm going to give her a shout out, that left me a private message, said, yes, she thinks Ivan is going to keep his promise, and I'm very hopeful that he does too. So let's see. If you are reading along, we're on page 168. How? It takes a long time, but finally Ruby returns to sleep. Ivan, Bob whispers, yawning. What you said about the zoo. How are you going to do it? Suddenly, I feel as if I could sleep for 1,000 days. I don't know, I admit. You'll think of something, Bob says confidently, his voice trailing off as his eyes close. What if I don't? I ask. But Bob is already asleep. His little red feet dance, and I know he's running in his dreams. If you have a dog at home, you know that they can kind of have little dreams where their body moves like that. Remembering, Bob and Ruby sleep on. I don't sleep. I think about the promise I made to Stella and the pictures I've made for Ruby, and I remember. I remember it all. What do you think he remembers? This is titled What They Did. So they write these kind of in short pages sometimes, Catherine Applegate. It's almost like a little bit of poetry or stanza writing, but it's titled What They Did. We were clinging to our mother, my sister and I, when the humans killed her. They shot my father next. Then they came for me. Something else to buy. There is a cluttered, musty stone near my cage. They sell an ashtray there. It is made from the hand of a gorilla. Another Ivan. When morning comes and the parking lot glimmers with dew, I see the billboard on the highway. There I am, the one and only Ivan, bathed in the pink light of dawn. I look so angry, with my furrowed brow and clenched fists. I look the way my father did, the day the man came. I am, I suppose, a peaceful sort. Mostly I watch the world go by and think about naps and bananas and yogurt raisins. But inside me, hidden, is another Ivan. He could tear a grown man's limb off his body. In the flicker of time it takes a snake tongue to taste the air. He could take revenge. He is the Ivan on the billboard. I stare at the one and only Ivan as the faded picture of Stella, and I remember George and Mac on their ladders adding the picture of Ruby to bring new visitors to the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade. I remember the story Ruby told, the one where the villagers came to her rescue. I hear Stella's kind, wise voice. Humans can surprise you sometimes. I look at my fingers, coated in red paint, the color of blood, and I know how to keep my promise. So we just learned a couple pages back. I did leave some sentences out if you are reading along because it is a bit tragic and sad, but we learned that Ivan's parents were killed by humans and they took Ivan and we know Tag from their family and they sold him to Mac and George. And on the next page he talks about something very interesting, which is that he has two types of Ivans. The one that we know is very calm, content with his surroundings. He just has accepted them, whether that's happily or just he's said, I've been here for so many years, I have to accept this life. But he's saying deep inside there is a part of him that has anger and could easily harm a human because we know that gorillas are so strong. We learned that in class. And he said that it's very easy that he could take revenge And so it's very interesting that Ivan does know that there is a second side of him that he never really taps into. So we're going to see what happens with that. 174. During the days I wait, during the nights I paint. I worry when Mac takes Ruby into the ring. He carries the caustic with him all the time now. He doesn't use it. He doesn't have to. Ruby isn't fighting back anymore. She does whatever Mac asks. I close my eyes, I dip my fingers into the paint. When I'm done with one piece of paper, I set it aside to dry. It's so small, just one sheet. And I'm going to need so many. I move on to the next, and the next, and the next. It's a giant puzzle, and I'm making the pieces one by one. By morning, my floor is covered in paintings. I hide the paintings under my pool of dirty water before Mac can see them. I don't want them to end up in the gift store, selling for $20 a piece, $25 with the frame. These paintings are for Ruby, every one of them. I feel like I'm skipping a page, but I'm not. Okay. Project. Ivan, Ruby asked one morning when I am trying to nap, why are you always so sleepy during the day? I've been working on a project all night, I tell her. What's a project? It's a thing, a painting. It's a painting for you, actually, I answer. Ruby looks pleased. Can I see it? Not yet. Ruby pokes with some annoyance at her roped foot, shakes a breath. Ivan, do I have to do the shows with Mac today? I'm afraid so. I'm sorry, Ruby. Ruby dips her trunk into her water bucket. That's okay, she says. I already knew the answer. Not right. It's night again, and everyone's asleep. I look at the picture I just made, one of a dozen. It's smudged and torn, a muddy blur. I made it besides the others lining my floor. The colors are wrong, the shapes are off, it looks like nothing. It's not what I'm trying to create, it's not what it's meant to be. It's not right. I don't know why. Across the parking lot, the billboard beckons, as it always does. Come to the Exit 8 Big Top Mall and Video Arcade, home of the one and only Ivan, mighty Silverback. If I could use human words to say what I need to say, this would all be so easy. Instead, I have my pots of paint and my ragged pages. I sigh. My fingertips glow like jungle flowers. I try again. We know Ivan can't speak human words. And we're going to stop there. That was on page 179, so I'm going to bookmark it. And I just want to do a quick question here. I will have a Google form for kids in my class. What do you think Ivan is making? He has a project, and he's being kind of sneaky about it. We know he's painting all night, every night. We know he has red paint. And I think the fact that he isn't able to speak human words, which maybe in this case is English, it's hard for him. So he's not going to be able to spell anything. So what do you think he's making? I'm going to give you a hint. I think it has to do with getting Ruby to a humane zoo. But I don't know what he's making. And I know he can't write. What do you think it is? If you're in my class, remember to fill out the Google form because I'm really, really interested to see what you think he's making, what his project is. And remember to click turn in so I could see what you come up with. If you are following along, feel free to comment below. My kids from my other school like to listen in too. So make sure to comment on our YouTube channel. You can follow us there to know when our next reading session is uploaded. And you can follow us on Instagram at Miss Pugz with a Z to see what's going on in our online class and our real life class. And I will see you tomorrow. That will be our last reading before spring break. But maybe I'll sneak one in over spring break. Who knows? I'll talk to you soon.